miners pretty much run the lower levels.
How's it going? Can I help you?
Invoices can be collected from the... Oh. Not here for a delivery, are you?
Do you now? Well, I do wish I could help you, Captain, but Dr. Walker has been missing for some time.
A shame, too. We had such high hopes for Percival. I brought him on myself to do medical and biological consulting around the city. Not the sort of work the Trade Authority traditionally does, but we thought it had the potential to become a whole new type of revenue stream for our branch. I invested no small amount of personal capital into the endeavor. But then he decided to run off after a discipline issue. I presume the miners have him hidden somewhere. Plenty of cracks on this old rock. But at this point, it's probably for the best. They were all devils. Red Devils. A UC Marine unit based here on Mars, though they were disbanded shortly after the Colony War. I presume a number of them served alongside Dr. Walker. Bonds forged in battle and all that. Dr. Walker decided to start brewing and selling his own pharmaceuticals to our customers, below cost. Something his contract expressly forbade. As such, we requested our cut of the profits and began garnishing his salary. Perhaps a little too severely, but well within legal limits. It was around then that he ran off, abandoning his duty and his unpaid accounts.
That won't be necessary. The Trade Authority isn't interested in employing someone so unreliable. But we would like the money he owes us. If you can convince him to pay his debts, we'd be most grateful.
Just this one time? I am all too aware that once one starts doing favors for the Trade Authority, it can be difficult to stop. It is your choice, but be careful. Do not let him talk you into more.
Wonderful.
I suggest paying a visit to the Sixth Circle, what I suppose is technically a bar on the lowest level of the city. If anyone knows where Percival is, the miscreants there would. But I would urge caution. They're not a group known for their hospitality.
Was there something else? I don't recall the exact figure off the top of my head, but with the interest it's accrued, it's something substantial. If you're feeling charitable, I'd be happy to look it up for you. Be my guest.
It's not easy living in Sidon.
Deluxe condos aren't anything special.
Broken Spear's upstairs. Go drown yourself there. This bar's for Devil's vets and their kin.
Doc Walker? You're barking up the wrong...
Andy, you. Why don't you come here and tell me what some stray wants with Walker?
What?
Not every day a stray topsider wanders into my bar claiming they know people. What do you want with Dr. Walker? That's so. Now, if that tag's a forgery, it's a damn good one. All right. Maybe she did send you. Or maybe you just know where to buy your fakes. But look, Even if I decided I was going to help you get in contact with Dr. Walker, Percival made himself scarce for a reason. His debt to the Trade Authority. But if someone resolved that debt, well, Percival wouldn't have to hide anymore. Can bet that person would make a friend out of Percival, and the rest of us devils. And I'm always inclined to help a friend. Red Devils were the meanest Marine unit the UC Navy ever had. Couldn't get in if you hadn't done at least one stint as a Martian Dusty. Made us tough, reliable. That's why they chose us as the handlers for the UC xenoweapons. No other unit could handle that pressure. Percival, though, he wasn't a grunt like all of us. Science officer. Made sure the monsters behaved themselves around the Devils, and didn't with everyone else. But it was those monsters that did us in. When the colony war ended and the armistice came down, everything associated with xenoweapons got shelved, Red Devils included. Now they're just a memory. Me? Nah. Infantry officer. But my grunts deployed alongside the things. Never seen anything like it, before or since. Monsters from the darkest corners of the Black, rampaging across the battlefield. And understand why they banned them. Brutal. Armistice hurt us more than most, but... wow. Wasn't all bad that came out of that agreement. Well, most straightforward way to take care of this debt would be to just saunter up to the Authority and pay him direct, if you've got credits to throw away. Of course, rumor is the Trade Authority keeps all their records and collections files on a central server inside their storeroom. If someone was to break in there and adjust Percival's debt to something a little more reasonable, say a few hundred credits, I'd be happy to cover the costs.
Crossing the Trade Authority could be perilous. There are real stakes here.
But, one friend of Hadrian's to another, Sidonia's full of old utility spaces. Wouldn't be surprised if there was one that let out right into the Authority storeroom. Say, with an entrance behind the bar at the Broken Spear. Ooh, and you might need these.
Caution. Prepare for today's final.
Get out of my face.
Be advised to secure this article and find safe ground or remain seated.
Yeah? And I look forward to hearing the good news.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you may be Hadrian's friend. Come here. Heard you talking with Lou, so you're going to help Dr. Walker? Whoa, not necessary. I want to help you help Walker. Here, we got off on the wrong foot. Have a drink. Now look, I know how you can help Walker without having to resort to any B&E. Aqueous hematite. Mars is full of it. People think it's just garbage, but Percival and I, we've been working on some projects in the deep mines. At least when he wasn't slaving away at his Trade Authority contract. But we stumbled on a way to make it useful and profitable. You give our research over to Octai at the Trade Authority, it should more than cover Percival's debt. That guy's always looking for an angle. It's mostly iron and about 3 centuries of human water runoff, though only Percival would be able to tell you all the trace elements and whatnot. But it builds up around human settlements, and something about the Martian soil changes it, makes it into something new. And we think we found a use for it. No. Well, yes, but the medical kind. I'd help him make whatever the city was running low on that month, and we'd sell it to the miners for cheap. But the Trade Authority got wind and wanted their cut. And then some. Yeah, it does. It would be. There's just one issue. We were never able to finish the research. Spacers moved in and ran us out. Started setting up shop.
Oh, I know what comes next.
But if you can clear them out, I can walk you through how to finish the research. Then you can give it over to the Trade Authority. They'll get folks working in the deep mines again. Jobs come back, I become a modern-day folk hero. Then I don't have to sleep on an inflated spacesuit anymore. A bunch of parasites and cutthroats. They're folks from the fringes of space, willing to put down anyone who tries to move in on what they've decided is theirs, even when it ain't. Strange this group would pick Mars as a new home. Sure, we're not downtown New Atlantis, but there are places where they'd be bothered less than here. My guess is the Authority tipped them off when they heard we were working down there, and cut off what they thought was the competition, you know? Biggest employer on Mars has always been Demo Star Yards. After the Colony War, Armistice meant they needed a lot fewer warships. Fewer ships meant fewer minerals. That meant a lot of folks scrounging for work around here. Great. So access to the deep mines can be found outside the city. It's not far. Shouldn't even need to hop back in your ship. We'd set up right near the main drill. Taking out the spacer leader should get the message across to the rest of them to buzz off. Once you've managed that, phone up here on the comms panel, and I can walk you through finishing the research. Wouldn't put it past the Authority for a second to have clued off the spacers to get back at us.
Detonation to resume tomorrow morning.
And spacers, the principal fleet, you have that.
to assume we have not seen the last of these traders. Apparently, when freezing to death, one may experience a warm, cozy feeling. That's the first to verify that firsthand. Miners' quarters ahead, perhaps? Filled with more spacers, no doubt.
You're gonna need to collect a sample of hematite to run through the thresher. Grab a laser cutter and head back to the chamber where you came in. Once you've got a sample, thresher's the big machine in the next room. Passcode to start it is Ares 2330. Take care of all that, and we'll have Percival's name cleared in no time.
Initiating analysis. Compound analysis complete. Adding to system notation. Call rating. Process complete. You may collect your documentation.
All set? Good. You can take the elevator in that room back to the surface. There should be a key stashed in the fresh room, if the spacers didn't make off with it. I'll be waiting at the circle.
Careful near the railings on the upper level.
You've got the slate. Let me see. Reduced joint wear? Oh, increased lifting capacity. A dose of this stuff can make a miner way more efficient. This formula's gotta be worth at least as much as whatever Percival owes. Okay, so here's what you do. Tell Octai and the Trade Authority you found a business proposal that will make miners more efficient, higher yield, synergy, you know, all that business crap. And that you'll trade it to him for clearing Percival's debt. You good at doing pitches and stuff like that? Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of the formula for yourself, in case you ever wanna try maximizing your own industrial output. Oh, use that if you can. Good luck. Glad you're doing this and not me. Last time I had to give a public speech, whole class got to see what I had for lunch.
What?
Used to think I was Vanguard material.
Let out a collective sigh of relief.
Was there something else? I'm never one to turn away an opportunity, but I'd be curious what you think you've uncovered in the Martian market that others have missed.
Aqueous hematite, iron and wastewater. Well, I'm not surprised no one has proposed something like this before.
And exactly what does this new drug of yours do? An interesting proposal, if your data pans out. But where's this hematite coming from? The active mines would be too expensive to retool. The deep mines could be an option, but they're full of spacers. Or so I've heard. Well now, that is intriguing. A completely untapped resource pool, and the sort of utility every mining firm in Sidonia would be clamoring to get their hands on. We could contract out all the actual lab work, bring on one of the hungrier mining concerns for materials, the licensing fees alone. And think what it would do for our image with the general populace. This mine, reopened, thanks to the Martian Trade Authority. Very interesting indeed. And what do you want for the rights to this drug?
Dr. Walker's dead? That's it? Consider it wiped.
Well, it seems we have a deal then. And here, a finder's fee from the Authority. A perfectly reasonable amount for a discovery with this sort of potential. Wouldn't want you feeling shortchanged down the road. We'll just be taking that slate before you have any second thoughts. It was a pleasure doing business with you, Captain. I wouldn't be surprised if I was transferred to the central office once they get word of this find.
It's getting into too big.
Yeah? Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those dregs. Here, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down. Let Percival know he doesn't have to hide anymore.
The red eye.
red with the Trade Authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Adrian sent you. Did she look okay? Sounds like Adrian. Watch that woman lose a digit trying to get a better tissue sample.
What? You can reattach a finger, Percy.
So what exactly did she have you bring me? Adrian said that, huh? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all on a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was. An entire city wiped off the map. The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
The chances for survival, let alone maintaining any kind of functioning society, would be slim indeed.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? Because until now, the terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here. The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster if we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going. I'm following you, friend. Someone spilled the beans, huh? Yeah, Hadrian and I. We're both former Xeno warfare. But it's been almost 20 years since the UC cut us loose. Since then, well, I've just been trying to make ends meet. Picking up jobs as a lab tech, a physician, a vet. Not a lot of folks excited to hire someone with a past like mine. Which is why, when the Trade Authority offered to bring me on as a consultant, I leapt at the chance. Guess I should have spent a little more time on that fine print. It's certainly not good. Terramorph attacks don't bother us in our daily lives because they're so infrequent. Londinian was horrible, but it was one rare exception. Another sample, though, gets us one step closer to it becoming the rule, which means we need to get this information into the right hands as soon as possible. The ultimate sin. I cut him out of a deal. Medicine can get tight on Mars. Mining's plenty dangerous. So I cooked up some meds on the side for an old friend who was running low. Well, that friend told her friends. Before I knew it, I'd become Mars' go-to black market pharmacist. Trade Authority eventually found out and wanted a piece of everything I'd sold, and then some. It was at that point I decided to take my leave of absence. That's right. UC shuttered it after the war, but I just happened to remember the access codes. Figured no one else was using it. Plus, I knew the security was good enough that the Trade Authority couldn't just come waltzing in the door even if they figured out where I was. So, I set up shop. Lou hooked me up with some supplies when I first came down. Damn good thing he did, too. Since once those spacers moved in, I was on my own until you showed.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hatchling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti with both of us. Of course, you deserve the full story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. I mean, I hope they will, but accessing the archives, it's not 100% up to them. They'll also need the consent of the other signatories of the Colony War Armistice, the Freestar Collective and House Varun, in order to unlock it.
Since neither group is exactly on great terms with the UC at the moment, for various reasons.
Exactly. It's going to mean negotiations and deals and plenty of diplomatic legwork to see this through. But I don't see a better option to solving what's going on here. So it's gonna be up to us to get them on board. Because the Terramorph project was doomed from the start. Terramorphs are too mean, too smart, too hungry to be used in combat. Trust us, we tried. The data that's in the archives, it's historical write-ups, anatomical notation, food chain analyses. I doubt they would have even classified it if it didn't have a Xeno-warfare logo on it. You have my word. It's not a threat. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
A pleasure.
You're nervous about speaking to the cabinet? Yeah, I would be too.
The bridge above the Mast Nat station. Meet me there. Exactly. To access the archives, we need to get the UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun to all agree to help. And just getting the UC alone on board is going to be hard enough. I don't expect the cabinet's going to be thrilled about the prospect of rocking that diplomatic vessel. I wish I knew. Despite the difference in scale of the 2 attacks, the samples having the same markers, it's too big of a red flag to ignore. But whether it's something internal to these morphs that's different, or something common in the environments, or something else completely, we can't know yet. We just need more information. That's why we need to speak to the cabinet. When people find out who I am, it usually makes things complicated. And the situation we were in back on Tau Ceti, in that moment, we sure as hell didn't need any added complications.
Will we be stopping for food? I would not mind trying something, and there are plenty of options.
Captain! Over here!